Well, our top story is also weather-related. A pre-winter storm moving east across parts of the U.S. has already claimed at least 2 victims. They were killed and 44 others hurt when a tour bus heading from Alabama to a Mississippi casino overturned on an icy highway. The system is moving up the southeast and into New England over the next couple days. Teams are sifting through the charred remains of what's left of much of the town of Paradise, California, that was ravaged by the Camp Fire. Around 130 people are still missing. The fire destroyed more than 10,000 homes and buildings and killed at least 56 people. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke toured the fire Wednesday with California Governor Jerry Brown. Secretary Zinke, a former Navy SEAL, described the scene as, quote, worse than any war zone I saw in Iraq.
This is my 4th trip to California. Unfortunately, every trip this year has been forest fires, and each trip I say this is the worst fire I've seen, and now we're here today, and this is the worst fire I have seen. This is just not a state issue. It's not a federal issue. This is an American issue of managing our forests. We all want healthy forests. We're going to all have to work together in order to find solutions to this, and it's a variable. A lot of variables in this problem.
Now closer to home, an early morning shooting is under investigation on Billings South Side. Just after 12:30 this morning, a 911 caller said they were shot at. A suspect was named but fled before officers arrived. The victim's car was struck by the gunfire, but the victim was not injured. Police are searching for the suspect. This marks the 2nd shooting in Billings 2 days in a row. A Billings man has been identified as the victim of a hunting accident near Virginia City earlier this month. The Madison County Sheriff tells Q2 that 50-year-old Michael Drexler of Billings died November 2nd after he was accidentally shot by a member of his own hunting party. The group was hunting for elk near Wigwam Creek, south of Virginia City, when the shooting occurred. The case is still under investigation, but officials say the shooting is not suspicious. Here in Billings, public safety was the topic at a public forum Wednesday at the Northern Hotel. Q2's Connor Pregesser reports.
Citizens, the Billings Police Department, and the Downtown Billings Alliance all came together to discuss how we as a community can bolster public safety in the downtown core. Chief Rich St. John spoke about the challenges facing Billings, specifically the vagrant and migrant population, and how these issues are being addressed.
Our ultimate goal is not to fill the jail up with people who are homeless, who are intoxicated in public, who are mentally ill. That's not the place for them. We need to get them to treatment.
A way in which BPD has been working to achieve this goal is through the Motivated Alcohol Alternative Program, or MAP, which aims to leverage cited individuals into treatment as a jail alternative. Chief St. John noted the success of this program, but also some of the issues that are still slowing the process. These included the lack of clean and sober housing in Billings, as well as Montana's lack of public intoxication legislation. Downtown Billings Alliance Executive Director Katie Easton emphasized the need for communication to resolve these issues going forward.
We need to be able to listen, we need to be able to acknowledge what the challenge is, and we need to be able to work together to find a solution.
Property crimes were highlighted as one of the challenges posed by this specific population, and thanks to Buchanan Capital, a private contractor was brought in to discuss some of the possible solutions. Mark Johnson is one of 3 crime prevention through environmental design experts in Montana and Wyoming, and he spoke about some of the basic principles of CPTED while showing examples from the Billings community.
Having clear windows with nothing on the windows so people can see out of the business. Trimming vegetation so it's not covering up lighting and windows again so people can see out. And a lot of time it's simple maintenance fixes of replacing those bulbs that are burnt out on street corners and on buildings, and it lights it up because lighting is probably the #1 deterrent in criminal activity when it comes to crimes of opportunity.
In Billings, Connor Pregetzer, MTN News.
And Chief St. John said the Billings Police Department has 1 employee trained in crime prevention through environmental design and plans to work closely with the Downtown Billings Alliance in the near future. Meanwhile, newly elected Montana legislators met in Helena Wednesday to choose their leaders for the 2019 legislature. The Republican majority in the Montana House elected Representative Greg Hertz of Polson to be the next Speaker of the House. He defeated Representative Nancy Balance of Hamilton. Minority Democrats in the House chose Great Falls Representative Casey Schreiner as their leader. In the state Senate, Republicans again chose Bozeman Senator Scott Sales as president. Democratic Senator John Sesso of Butte was unopposed for Senate Minority Leader. And 4 Billings area lawmakers also won election to leadership posts. In the Senate, Democrat Margie McDonald was selected as Minority Whip, while Republicans Doug Carey and Carrie Smith will serve as 2 of the 3 Majority Whips. Over in the House, Representative Dennis Lenz of Billings will serve as the Republican Whip. The 2019 legislature will convene on January 7th at the Capitol. Wyoming's congressional delegation has secured 2 key leadership positions when the new session of Congress begins next year. Senator John Barrasso was elected chairman of the Senate Republican Conference, while second-term Congresswoman Liz Cheney was selected as chair of the House Republican Conference. Both positions represent the number 3 GOP leadership positions in both the Senate and House. In other news, if you drive Zimmerman Trail, it could be another couple of weeks before the popular road opens again, and the impending cold snap likely won't help. As you can see, crews were busy working on Zimmerman Wednesday, where new pavement is still being put down. Colder temperatures have delayed the project because crews can only pave for half of the day. The bottom line, the project will likely not be completed until after Thanksgiving. Work on the new roundabout, where Zimmerman connects with Highway 3 atop the rims, is nearly complete, but also a bit behind schedule due to the recent cold and snow. And our last story this Thursday, the Montana Women's Run does a lot more than gathering thousands of women for a run each spring. Proceeds from the race help support year-round health and wellness for women all across the community. With this year's donations, the cause over the years has donated more than $1,250,000. This year, funds go to the YWCA, Billings Clinic Foundation, and Billings YMCA. A portion of the $100,000 raised this year also goes towards scholarships for female cross-country runners at Rocky Mountain College and MSU Billings. Last spring, more than 8,500 women took part in the Montana Women's Run. And by the way, next year's run is scheduled for Saturday, May 11th.